The anime tells the story of an online game named Sword Art Online, which was launched in 2022. A very popular and virtual game which attracted a lot of people, including Kirito. Only 10,000 people were lucky enough to buy the Sword Art Online project, and before that, only 1,000 persons were chosen to play the trial months before the launch, and Kirito was one of them. He tried to play the final version. He was conscious of everything and knew exactly where he was going, but suddenly he met Klein, who seemed to be lost and asking for help. Kirito started explaining the steps and details in every level. Everything was so realistic, and Klein revealed that it was his first time playing such a game. They were discussing different topics before they decided to leave, but they got surprised by the absence of the exit button. At the beginning, it seemed to be a mistake or some technical problem, but then all the players were transported to the main arena where the leader, Kayaba Akihiko, came and explained the issue. The game had no problems. Everything was working perfectly. The thing was, the Sword Art Online became more than a game, close enough to be called a virtual life. The loser will die in the real world as well, and there was no way to get out unless if they reached the end line. Most of the players freaked out, but Kirito made his plan already. He invited Klein, but he refused to go with him and preferred to find his friends first, and that's how his journey got started. 1 month later, 1,000 players got killed already, and there would be more. No one could finish the first level. The only way to pass it was by finding the leader's room and to kill the beast in it. One guy revealed that he could find it, but in order to work in better conditions, they preferred to be divided into groups. Kirito found himself alone, so he joined a strange girl named Asuna in order to work together. The groups discussed everything they learned from the instruction manual and decided to go in the next day. Exactly as it was planned, when they arrived to the room, they found themselves in front of the beast and its servants. The fight got started and all the players did their best, but at the end, Kirito and Asuna killed it together and allowed all the others to pass to the second level. At that moment, Kirito confessed that he played the trial and he knew all the details. Also, he was the only one who reached a high level, and that's why he decided to continue his journey all alone. In the 11th floor, Kirito joined Syndicate as it was much better than playing alone. When they arrived to the 20th floor, and after defeating a lot of monsters, they collected 20,000 chore, which is considered as money, and they could buy anything they wanted, and simply they preferred to start in by guns. 1 month later, he met Klein again, but he was not excited to meet him. At that moment, he received a message from the Syndicate telling that Sachi, one of the members, ran away. He could track her down and found her. She revealed that she was afraid and didn't want to play that game again. He could convince her, and that fear is part of everybody's life, and she had to live with it. When the group was feeling safe in another room and they found themselves lucky by finding a treasure, it appeared that it was just a trap, and they got all killed, including the little girl. Before dying, she said something to Kirito, but he couldn't hear it well, so he spent another month trying to find a mysterious monster. By killing him, he will earn a secret ball which can bring back dead people. As he arrived to the desired place, he found Klein, who wanted to stop him because it was so dangerous thing to do. Kirito didn't listen and defeated the monster, but he got disappointed when he knew that the ball can bring back people who died in the first 10 seconds only. When he went back to his room, he found an audio recording from Sachi. She told him that she knew his true powers and that she was feeling safe next to him. She added some beautiful words, ending her message by thanking him for everything. On the 35th floor, another Syndicate was moving so fast, but there was a dispute between two of its members, which led to the separation of one of them from the group. She was named Silica, one of the most popular players. She decided to go alone and to fight another group, but before that, she had to face some monster on her own. She had a magical lizard which protected her, but got killed at the end. When she almost had the same fate, Kirito saved her. She was crying so hard for her loss, but the boy told her that she can bring it back to life if she gets to the 47th floor in just 3 days, where there was a flower at the end of one road inside a garden. Those two guys worked hard to get to their final destination, but Kirito had always a feeling that someone was tracking them. When they got the magical flower and went back to the city, he could see Rosalisa, the old group leader of Silica, spying on them. It appeared that she wanted the flower at any cost, and she also brought her mates. They started attacking him, but nothing happened. He revealed then that he came back from the 78th floor and he was ranked as one of the best players. Then he took them all to jail because he knew about their crimes and the murders they were involved in. At night, he confessed to Silica that he used her as a bait to attack those criminals, but she didn't mind because he helped her to bring her animal to life again. Jumping to the 56th floor in the next year, Asuna was the vice president of the most powerful Syndicate. She made orders to use some people as base to lure monster in order to kill it, but Kirito disagreed with that. Then she made herself clear that she had the authority and everyone must listen to her. The boy got mad and decided to go out for some fresh air. Under a green tree, he fell asleep, but the girl woke him up. She tried to blame him for laying down there while the others were training for the next missions. He calmly asked her to take a nap and enjoy the moment. She listened to him and fell asleep for hours. He kept guarding her. When she opened her eyes, she decided to offer him an appropriate lunch in a beautiful restaurant. When they were waiting for their order, they heard a girl screaming loud. They ran to see what the problem was, and they got shocked right after that. A man was hanging from the balcony of a church, stabbed with a sword in his chest. They tried to save him, but it was too late. He passed away. They decide after that to work as a team in order to reveal the secret of that crime. They start asking people if they saw what happened exactly. A girl named Yolko stepped forward and told them what she knew about him. His name was Kainis. The girl was afraid and she was clearly hiding something. They took the girl to her room and decided to start their investigation by going to an arms dealer. He could recognize the gunsmith, Grimrook. And the next day, they went back to Yolko to know more details. She revealed that they were all in the same syndicate 6 months ago, and they defeated a monster which gave them a magical super power drink. They gathered and voted all on selling it except 3 members. Their leader Griselda took the ring, but she never came back. A couple of days later, they heard that she died. The girl told them that Grimrook is Griselda's husband, and he came back obviously to take his revenge from those 3 guys who didn't vote. The main suspects were the 3 opponents, Yolko, Kainis, and Schmidt. The first one was killed, and the next targets were clear. Kirito and Asuna brought those 2 guys to protect them, but when the girl sat on the edge of a window, someone threw a knife on her and she got killed in front of them all. This time, Kirito saw someone and chased him, but using a magical crystal, the mysterious guy disappeared. At night, Asuna and Kirito met to discuss what happened, and they came out with a logical explanation. They found out that Yolko and Kainis were not dead. They made everything to lure Schmidt because they had doubts about him. Schmidt confessed what he did in the leader's grave, and the 2 others recorded his words. While they were blaming him for everything, another dangerous syndicate came to kill them. Luckily, Kirito was there. After that, they knew about Grimrook's plan and figured out the secret. In the next episode, Kirito went to see Elizabeth, Asuna's friend, who worked as a gunsmith. He asked her to make the best sword for him. They went together after that to purchase the necessary minerals. When they reached the place where they can find what they wanted, a monster pushed them into a hole and they couldn't get out. Until the next day, and finally they got start working on that unbreakable sword. The result was just as great as they both wanted. It's been 2 years since the game was launched, and the players didn't arrive to the last floor yet. Kirito was training as usual, and he handed a rare rabbit. He asked Asuna to cook it if she wanted to taste. The girl agreed on his generous request and decided to prepare the dish in her own house. But before that, one of her servants didn't like Kirito and asked her to stay away from him. The dish was so delicious, and they had a conversation about their lives right after having dinner. The girl was so smart, and she could convince the boy to create a team together. And the next day, the same servant came and tried to force Asuna to go with him, but she refused. That's why Kirito had a fight with him, and he won. Later, the 2 fighters decided to go and train together, as they created a team already. And while they were doing that on the 74th floor, they saw the monster's room. The girl wanted to take a quick look on it. Slowly they opened the door and they found themselves in front of a huge monster which was ready to start a fight with them. When they realized it was impossible for them to defeat the beast, they ran out and they met Clay and his syndicate. Right after that, a group of soldiers came in. They seemed to be exhausted, but their leader insisted on taking the map to find the monster and to kill it. Kirito and his friends decided to keep an eye on those soldiers in order to help them if they need it, and that was exactly what happened. The soldier was so weak and most of them died at the beginning of that battle, so automatically Kirito and his friends found themselves involved in that fight. They kept struggling, but they succeeded and they won. Kirito almost got killed, but he showed a new talent which was something incredible. Asuna was so worried about his life and decided to leave her first syndicate in order to stay by Kirito's side and to protect him when he needed. The leader of Asuna's syndicates refused to let her go unless if Kirito would defeat him in a sword fight, but if he would lose, then they would be obliged to stay in the syndicate. The fight got started in front of all citizens, but unexpectedly this time, the hero lost and he had to take off his black clothes and to wear the white uniform. It was the time to start a new journey with a new group. Godfrey called Kirito and Asuna's servant for the sake of peace, and they went for a walk all together. When they arrived to a deserted river, when the servant tricked them and made them drink a poison. That tricky person started by killing Godfrey, and then he attempted killing the other boy. Luckily, Asuna saved him in the last minute, but she almost got killed as well. But her boy interrupted at the right time, and it was meant for them to spend the night together in her house. The 2 lovers decided to get married and to spend some days away from the syndicate and the noise. When they were walking in the woods, they saw a little girl who appeared like a ghost, but they decided to take her home in order to know her story. And the next day, the little girl woke up. She called herself Yui, and she couldn't remember anything about her family or her past. She started treating the couple as if they were her real parents, so they decided to help her. They started taking her to all places in the game in order to make her remember anything, but she couldn't. And while they were walking around, they saw soldiers trying to kidnap some kids, so Kirito and Asuna intervened to save them. Right after that, Yui started acting so weirdly. She seemed so afraid, and that place meant something for her. The couple realized the kids whom they saved from the soldiers were living in a shelter, and unfortunately, Yui had never been there. As they were trying to know more about the lost kids, the door knocked, and it was a woman who asked them for help. She wanted to save Thinker, who had been tricked. Asuma hesitated giving help, but Yui unexpectedly told her mom that the woman was telling the truth. Apparently, the little girl had some magical talent and insisted to go with them to save Thinker. The end of the road was not as blessed as they thought it would be. They could save the soldier, but they had to fight the monster after that. When the fight started, the parents were struggling. Yui came and they finally understood how strong their daughter was. She was immortal. When she won the fight, her parents sat with her and asked her for a logical explanation. She started by clarifying how the game worked, and then shocked them by the fact that she was a device and she belonged to the general system of Sword Art Online. The girl revealed that she wanted to stay with them, but the program would not accept that, and indeed, she started disappearing. Kirito tried his best to bring her back, but all he could do was to get a piece of her heart, which allowed them to recreate her at the end of the game. Thanks for watching, and wait for the next part of this season. See you then!